everybody, and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac, and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 26. Now, last episode, we spent a fairly significant amount of time trying to set up a dimension using the RF Tools mod, and since the end of last episode, I have spent a bunch more time trying to do the exact same thing. And when I say trying to, we have successfully made dimensions. That's not the question. We have a couple here. These like multicolored grid blocks here are all specific dimensions that we can make if we just throw them into the dimension builder. However, none of them are useful. So what I did is I spent a fair amount of time getting some more dimlets, which you can either get by searching the dimensions that you make or by killing mobs. I spent quite a bit of time doing the job of the grinder, killing some mobs. I found Enderman dropped more than anyone else. But anyway, I made a few of those, and after building a couple more dimensions, I decided to go into a single player world, throw in creative mode, and generate a ton more to see if I could get any dimensions that looked kind of like the overworld, because that's all I want. I want a dimension that I can put the ender quarry down in, and it will just get us a ton of stuff, like iron, copper, tin, etc., etc. But it didn't happen. Every single world that I made was like weird, or wacky, or like floating, and didn't have any ores, and it's not what I want. We can't use it in order to put our quarry down. So, the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to make a Mistcraft age. We're going to switch it over, and we're going to play around with some Mistcraft. And the reason for that is because what I wanted to do today was part of this big project that you're going to have to wait and see till, I guess, next episode to find out what it was. And that sentence was absolutely horribly laid out. But hey, that's fine. It kind of has something to do with that little hole in the wall, if you want a bit of a pointless hint. But basically, I was going to do a big project, and it turns out that I came into my A system, I typed in iron. We have 38 iron. 38. That's like nothing. We have like no iron left. That's like barely enough to make a full set of iron armor. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is get our material system back up and running. And to do that, we need a world that's sort of like the overworld. And to do that, we are gonna use a Mistcraft. So the first thing we're gonna do is make a couple of blocks. We need the ink mixer, which is really easy to make. We need the bookbinder, which is really easy to make. And we need this guy over here, the writing desk, which, you guessed it, is really easy to make. And once we've got all of those, we can set them up, I guess, over here. Looks kind of nice. Boom, boom, and I think, boom? Yeah, look at that. Nice. So the way this works is we are going to need a few things. We're going to need some paper, which I think we have lying around. We do. We need this guy over here, the ink vial, which is made using 2 ink sacks, a bucket of water, and a glass bottle, or using a bottle of water and 2 ink sacks. So we're going to do this one, because I think we have what it takes to make the... Actually, we could just... I guess we could just do this and just grab some water. Yeah, there we go. That might have been a bit easier. We can throw that in there, and we're only going to need the one, because we're only going to make 1 book for today. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to throw that in there like that. That's going to automatically fill this middle bit up with ink. We can take the glass bottle back, put some paper in. That will get us this here, the linking page. Once we've got ourselves a linking page, the next thing that we're going to need is some leather. Thank you very much. We only need the 1 piece, but I've got 5, so why not? And then in, I think it's this, we want to put the linking page, like that, with some leather up there. That will get us this thing, the descriptive book. We can then take the descriptive book, and that's it. That's it. We can just right-click, and we have a dimension. We have age 9. This over here is used if you want to specify pages. You can find specific Mistcraft pages, much like you can with the dimlets in Redstone Flux Tools. Those are found usually in villages, in dungeons, and in Mistcraft ages. But once you've got yourself the descriptive book, all you have to do is right-click on it and click inside this black square, and it will take you to your dimension. However, do not do that unless you have a way of getting back, because that is a surefire way of getting trapped in a Mistcraft age, which is something you do not want to do unless you plan on dying and coming back, kind of like we did with that Nether Quartz age in the last episode, which is not a good idea because it's a pain in the backside to do that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to have to make ourselves another ink vial, which is a bit of an issue because we don't have any ink. So let's go see if we can grab some. There's a little pond next to us. We can go get that. What we're going to make now is we're going to make a linking book that links back to the overworld, so that once we go to our Mistcraft age, whenever we want to return, all we have to do is open up another book, and it should bring us right back to our house. So let's have a quick look here, and I see my target already. Get here. Come on. Yeah, you're done for. Thank you very much. That got us... Really? Oh, there it is. I'm going to say, that should have got us ink easily. All right. 2 is more than enough. I will take that. Thank you very much. We should really get our jetpack back. I think I have it charging in the bat box right about now. But basically, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go boom, boom, and a glass bottle, which should be filled with water, which we can do once we get back inside. And this time, we're going to do something very similar, but we're not going to make another dimension. We're going to make an unlinked link book, which I will show you how to use in just a second. Let's take you, fill you up with water, do something like this, get ourselves an ink file, and then this time all we have to do is stick it back in there like so, stick some paper in to get ourselves another linking page, and then combine that linking page with, I think it's a book, I want to say, but it might be a piece of leather. It's a piece of leather to get yourself an unlinked link book, and then all we have to do is simply shift right click, I think it's just right click actually, and ta-da! Look at that, it linked. So now whenever we open this book, it says Overworld, and if we were in a different dimension and we clicked this here, it would bring us back to this exact spot where we linked the link book. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly make some book stands, like so, really easy to make. I'm going to put my descriptive book over here, like that, and we're going to go. It might take a while, it is loading in a new dimension, so give it time, there we go, and here we are. Alright. It looks dark, it looks weird, it's just loading in, it's fine. We've got 3 moons, what the heck? We've got 3 moons. I'm hoping this is just a normal dimension. Oh, come on, why? Why you do this to me? Why? Oh my god. Okay, well, what the heck? There's like a spider over there. Well, we have mining fatigue, which is just brilliant. Basically, this was a bit of a waste. But look, it works. It works, but unfortunately, age 9 is not an age that we can really use. So, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to do the exact same thing again. I'm going to make another descriptive book, get some more ink. I'm going to make another linking book, because that one that we've just used is trapped, really, within age 9, unless we have to go in there and sort of find another way to teleport back. But, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make another age. Hopefully, this one's useful, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, here we go. Take 2, age 10. Let's see what this one looks like. Hopefully, it's a bit better than all ice. I do not like the fact that that looks like snow and that we're falling, but I think that might just be some pre-world generation lag. Hopefully it all clears up, and hopefully it looks better than this. Please. I didn't make a book stand, so I do need to make one of those, but that's fine. Basically, oh. Okay. This looks okay. It does seem to be snowing. I think that's snow at least, but oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. But the only thing that really matters to me is the fact that we have ores. We have ores down there. We can set up a quarry anywhere in this land, and it should be just fine. Let's just go ahead and just F3 and A. Oh my god, look at this. We got golden pillars. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. We got weakness because it's a pretty nice world, but we're not going to be struggling for gold. We have nether quartz in here, which is absolutely beautiful. So if we set this up in the right place, we will get ourselves some nether quartz along with all the rest of the ores. Look at this. This is the type of world I was after. This is a beautiful world. All right, let's head back to our little platform, which is hopefully... Oh gosh, look, these are flame imps, I think. Oh, just imps. Just imps. Where did we spawn in at? We spawned in somewhere. The snow is kind of really annoying. I wonder if we can we turn that off? No, we can't. Okay. Okay, this is where we spawned in at. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. You'll know where you spawned in at because there'll be a nice little cobblestone platform waiting for you when you get there. So, let's basically hop on here. We kind of want to get rid of this book so we don't come back there. But if we just open this and go back to the overworld, that should take us back to right in front of our AE system. Good stuff. We can then quickly grab ourselves another bookshelf, or book stand, like this, not really a shelf. And I'm going to quickly go back and stick that other linking book on a bookshelf so we can actually, book stand, my gosh, so we can actually get back when we need to. We should be able to get to and from them a lot quicker now. Yeah, the book's just on the floor there. Shift right click to pick it up, by the way. And I'm just going to stick this thing back down like that. So now, whenever we come here, we just have to make our way back to this point. I'm going to put a waypoint down. It's J on the keyboard, by the way, to open up this this little menu. And then I'm just going to put home. Done. So now, wherever we are in the world, in this dimension, we can just come back to home, and we should be good to go. So, what I'm going to do now, guys, is we're going to go home. I'm going to grab the quarry and all of the stuff set up around the quarry from over there. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab some more of the ender markers that I made between episodes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a little parameter So ender mark. I'm going to take these. I'm going to set up a pretty big parameter. I'm not quite sure how big yet, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to set up a pretty big parameter out in our new dimension. We're going to stick the quarry down, and we are going to start that thing going. And hopefully, by next episode, we should have a ton of resources once again, which will be pretty nice. Thank you. That one is empty, so I'll take that. And I'll take all of you as well. We're going to set up the exact same setup, so nothing is going to be different. I might add another transfer node and start pulling through all of the gems like redstone and diamonds and stuff as well, because the chest is bound to get pretty full, especially if we make it a really big quarry. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go set that up, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, and quite a long time later, if we go ahead and throw the quarry down like so, we should, moment of truth, be able to right-click on this, and it should successfully establish a boundary. So what we have right here is one ender marker here, one ender marker 250 blocks that way, and then another one 250 blocks to the left of that, and then to the left of that, and then back around to here. So we have a massive square that is 250 by 250 wide, which is flipping huge. I can tell you that because we've just flown that far. And if we go ahead and right-click, successfully established boundary, brilliant. And now if we go ahead and just tick that, it should start to work. It says 0 blocks scanned. That should actually start doing stuff. Let's obviously sending power, receiving energy. That should work just fine. Now, one reason why it probably wouldn't work is because our power source, which is back at home, isn't chunk loaded. So what we're going to have to do, this ender quarry will automatically chunk load itself. What we're going to have to do before we start seeing stuff appearing is go back home and set down a chunk loader in our base. So that's going to mean that our base is constantly loaded and always sending power through this tesseract, which should be getting power, mind you. I think it is. Possibly. The only real way to find out is to make ourselves a chunk loader, which basically, as the name suggests, loads chunks. So we don't have any diamonds, so we actually can't make one, which is just super fun. We could probably make one. Oh my gosh, look how expensive these are. Jeez. The ones from my factory reload don't require diamonds, but they do require the power to stay on. And I guess instead what we could do is, now that we've been back for a few seconds, it should have sent a bit of power over. So if we go back again and go take a look at the quarry real quick, it should have started getting a couple of items. It should have scanned at least a few blocks. There we go. One block has been scanned, so we know for a fact that at least a tiny little bit of power has been sent along. Now, that could be due to the fact that our big reactor might not be doing anything right about now. Yeah, our big reactor is not producing any power. That's a problem. And also the fact that at the minute, our power is limited to 640 redstone flux per tick, because that's how much these power conduits can transfer. So let's take out all of that, cyanide, which we do have a use for, and we will get into that a little bit later on, and replace it with some yellorium. Thank you very much. We're almost run out of lorium as well, jeez. Throw that in there, that should go ahead and fill that up, at which point the quarry should start to run a lot faster at around 640 redstone flux per tick. At some point, we'll probably hook this up as well, using some redstone conduits to the tesseract so that it's getting a ton of power and should be able to run at maximum speed. And we'll also go ahead and throw in an upgrade at some point as well, so that it can actually run faster than its maximum speed, which will be very nice indeed. And it's still only scanned one block. That should be working just fine. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna assume that it's working. I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and I'll come back and I'll kind of test it between episodes. But that should work. That should be working just fine. Possibly. I'll put a little question mark there. Possibly. It should be working. But the next thing that I want to do today is I want to set up a little wireless access terminal. This isn't something that's going to take a full episode to do, and because I don't quite have what it takes to make my super secret, that's not really that secret, plan for next episode, I don't have enough resources. We're going to go ahead and set up a wireless access terminal, which is actually incredibly useful for applied energistics. And before we do that, we are going to need to make ourselves a few more of the fluix crystals. So let's grab some nether quartz, some charged Certus quartz, and some redstone. Throw them all into here. Boom, boom, and boom. That should get us a ton of those fluix crystals. Maybe a bit too many, because we probably just used... we didn't. We pulled it out just before it used all of our charged Certus quartz. But if we go ahead and throw that into here, I know for a fact that I'm going to have to pulverize a few of them into some fluix dust. But then we should be able to go ahead and start making this thing. So in order to make a wireless terminal, we need to get a wireless receiver, which is made with some quartz fiber, which we do have, and this guy up here, the flux pearl, which is fairly easy to do if you happen to have the fluix dust, which we do. Look at that. Boom. Thank you very much. We'll throw that there. Come on. There, and there. Boom. That's just right-clicking and dragging, by the way, for those who didn't know how to do that. And then we need an ME terminal. Boom. Done. I went ahead and made a few of these processors between episodes, so we don't have to go ahead and use I've completely forgotten the name of it. The inscriber like 5 times every time we try and do some applied energistics. So we got ourselves that. And then finally, we need a bunch of these energy cells and a calculation processor. These are where we really need the fluix dust because we need, my gosh, we need what, 7 of these? Jeez. As well as some charged Certus quartz, which, really? We have Certus quartz crystals? Can we use normal ones? We can. Whew! Okay. That makes things a little bit easier. However, we do need more fluix stuff, so we are going to have to go ahead and grab a few more of these. Actually, how many are we going to need? We're going to need 4 more. We've got 2. We're going to need, what? Flipping 16 more? Oh my gosh. 14 should be actually the exact amount, so I'll throw those in there, and that should be fine. And then we're also going to need a bunch of quartz. We're going to need, what, 4 more of those as well. We should be able to make some quartz glass right about now. Possibly. Yes? Nice. Okay, we'll throw it back in there. And we should be good to go. You can go up there, and we should be able to make a few more of those, taking us up to 7. And as I'm saying that, I realize that we need 8. Oh, every time, which means we need 4 more of the fluix dust, which we just so happen not to have. So, I guess instead, we're going to go ahead and grab this charged Certus quartz back and make a little bit more of it. Boom, boom, and boom. There we go. Thank you. Took a little while there. Not quite sure what was going on. Get ourselves 4 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should get us the last one, which we can then go ahead and throw it into the system and get ourselves a denser energy cell. And then we can use that with everything else to get ourselves almost, very, very close to almost, once we've made this, there we go, to get ourselves a wireless terminal. Nice. Now, by default, this thing does absolutely nothing. However, if we combine it with a security terminal hooked up to our AE system somewhere, as well as one other item that we'll get into in just a second, and I have a feeling we're not going to be, every time we're missing something. What do we need there? We need, is it just normal Certus quartz? We need fluix dust, of course. What else would we need if not fluix dust? Alright, let's take you and do that. We should be able to make 2 of the annihilation cores fairly easily. Now that we've got the fluix dust, nope, because we don't have the fluix dust. Let's take a few more of those. Wish there was a cheaper way of getting some fluix dust. This thing's pretty expensive. I'll put you back there. That should get us another one of those screens like this, which we can then use to make an ME chest like so. And then I think almost everything else we have, apart from the 16K storage component, which is actually pretty expensive, and we need more of those. Okay. Basically, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to make this 16K storage component, which is fairly easy to make. The recipe's there. I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, that should get us a 16K ME storage component, which we can then combine up to get ourselves the ME security terminal. Nice. Alright, now that we've got this guy, for the time being, I'm going to put it right about there, because I have nowhere better to put it. I'm kind of hoping that that's going to work. That should connect to the AE system through the 1K crafting storage. I might move both of these, and at some point as well, we're then going to take the fluix dust and combine that up to make ourselves the final piece of the puzzle, which is this guy over here. The ME wireless access point. This is made, again, using another one of these flux pearls. Take you, craft it up into this guy. Boom. And then craft everything else up to get ourselves one of these, a wireless access point, which, if we throw down right about there, again, it can go anywhere, should turn blue. There we go. Brilliant, meaning it's hooked up to the system. And basically, what we can do now is to link this wireless terminal to our AE system. We simply put it in here, like that. It's now linked. And once we provide this thing with power, it should be able to wirelessly access everything that is stored within our AE system, which is pretty freaking awesome. Now, there are 2 ways that we can do that. We can either do it with a capacitor bank from Ender.io, which is basically an energy cell, but it can also charge stuff, so it's also kind of cool in that regard. Or, and the capacitor bank is made like this. It does require some electric steel, which is it's a little bit pricey. It's not, oh no, it doesn't. We can just use that. I think I might do this, just because it's kind of easier than the alternative, which is making an, what's it called? thermal expansion. It's called this guy, the energetic infuser. Energetic infuser's a little bit more expensive, so we're gonna go ahead and just make ourselves a basic capacitor. Basic capacitor, this guy over here, simply requiring a couple of these guys, which does require a few golden nuggets. Here we go. Don't think don't really need the plate. I was gonna say I don't think I've ever used golden nuggets so much in my life as for making these flipping Ender IO capacitors. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can go and do something like this if we happen to have a block of redstone. And like I said, it's basically just a capacitor, kind of like the one we have in here, an energy cell. It stores energy, but it can also charge things up, so we'll put it there. That'll start to fill up with power, because I've changed the front to an export. Blue is where it's going to take power in, and orange is where it's going to eject power out. You can change these by just clicking on them. The front has been changed to orange. This is gaining power. If we stick that on there, it's going to start to move energy in. It's going to move it in at a rate of 1,000 redstone flux per tick. And once it's got a little bit of power, we can charge it up more between episodes. But now what we can do is go ahead and just right-click anywhere, and well, almost anywhere, and we can access all of our stuff. Look, this is everything in our AE system. So if we, for whatever reason, happen to be over here in the back of the Thermcraft room, or even in the mob grinding room, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I needed to have the XYZ block, which happens to be oh, look at this, look at this. This is where it falls short. Say I happen to be here, and I forgot the cyanide. I can pull it out, and I can just go ahead and start using it. The problem is, you did see that there is a range limit on it, and right now, it's not a very large limit. However, we can increase the range. You can see here it's 16 meters, which is 16 blocks. We can increase the range by getting ourselves, are they called range? I was going to call them range cards. I'm pretty sure that's not right. Let's have a look. If we go to Applied Energistics, I know what they look like. So if we flick over to here, the wireless boosters, these guys over here, are what we need. These are made using fluix dust, ender dust, charged Certus quartz, or I think a normal Certus quartz, and some iron. And we have none of the above, because why would we? We can get the fluix dust by pulverizing some fluix crystals, and we can get ourselves some ender dust by pulverizing some ender pearls. So we'll go ahead and we'll make like 3 of these. And try and make ourselves 3 boosters. I think in older versions, one card used to mean 1 block boost, but I think that's been changed in 1.7. So if we were to do this and get ourselves 6 of those, let's see how much 1 gets us. Now, bear in mind, this does mean it uses more power. At the minute, it uses 8 AE per tick. That's going to boost it up to 9. Actually, yeah, it does. It only does the 1. Oh, no, it's exponential. So 2 is what it adds like an extra 1.8. That one adds even more, even more, even more, and even more. It now does 30 blocks, almost twice as much as it originally did. So, if we were to go back all the way to the end of our Thermcraft room, we should still be able to access this. And we can. Beautiful. And then final test, I guess, of goodness is if we go and break into the next room, and if it still works back in this corner, then for the time being, it is good enough for me. Let's see. It does. It works. Beautiful. So now anywhere we are in our base, and maybe, just maybe, even most of the outside, kind of, I think our Botania sort of like hut is maybe a little bit too far away. Let's do a quick check and see how far we can get. That is out of range. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. We can get to here. That's kind of close enough. We can still work on the farm and access all of our stuff. We could boost it a few more over to be able to access the Botania stuff if we really wanted to. But with that, guys, I'm going to end the episode there. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit like. I'm going to make sure between this episode and next that the quarry is up and running and that we get a ton of stuff. I'll leave the server up for a long time so we have a ton of resources when we get back. And next episode, we're going to start to work on some pretty cool stuff, moving into some draconic evolution towards episode 30, which so many people have been asking me to cover. Don't worry, we're going to get into it, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So I hope to see you there, and I will see you guys next time.